Welcome everyone to Night City. Arasaka Arena once again transformed into a place for racing. With 6 races to go in the 2024 AT&T Champ Car World Series season, someone will be successful in the City of Dreams. Who will that be? We'll find out the end of 450 laps here this afternoon. Welcome everyone to a closed-off Arasaka Arena and ABN's coverage of the IndyCar World Championships. It's been a very busy weekend across the board for Champ Car, from the Challenger Series in Milwaukee all the way to the Pacific here in Central California. The championship is as tight as it's been. 5 points separates Evangeline Porter from Wyatt Jones. There's 5 drivers within a race, within touching distance of the championship lead. This is a race that we've seen a lot of chaos. We've been here twice, once with the Challenger Series, once with the World Series. It has been chaotic both times. Do we see more of that here today? That remains to be the question we will have answered by the end of tonight. Despite the conversation being around Evangeline Porter and Wyatt Jones, BK Glover, Mia Valdez, it's neither of those 4 that are at the front of the field. Instead, it's the 2 that battled it out for the race win last year when we came here for the first time. It is a home race for Andrew Draco, who won this race last year. He starts on pole again here today. Stephanie Porter-Kelly, 3-time IndyCar World Champion, 47-time race winner, will start on the outside of that front row, looking for race win number 48 and a chance to catapult herself into that championship conversation with 5 races to go after tonight. The capacity crowd here in Arasaka Arena as we get ready to go here tonight. So let's go over the full driver lineup here. The rows for the starting grid, as we mentioned, Draco and Porter-Kelly at the front of the field. They will be the ones that will lead this field to green. It is Nicole Lechty and Siri Lundqvist on the inside and outside of row 2. Evangeline Porter and Sakura Ishibashi, they make up row number 3. Then you have Hazel Leon and Simona LaRoe in row 4. Alicia Kovalkiewicz and Elise Alexander will start in row 5. They mark out your top 10. Natalia Velisevich and Julia Takani, they make up row 6 ahead of BK Glover and Wyatt Jones in row 7. Catherine Hart, Artyom Kozlov, they make up row 8 ahead of row 9's Matthias Michelin and Astrid Crane. Cameron Jackson, Mia Valdez, they're in row number 10. That's the top 20. Row 11 is Kage Kobayashi and Thomas Rogers. Anastasius von Sonen and Shufan Zhang make up row 12. Marcus Petrovich and Esther Hofson, they will make up the final row of this 26-car field. 13 rows here in Night City for the World Series once again. Esther Hofson, the news came out before this weekend that she'll be leaving Champ Car at the end of the season to go and pursue sports car racing once again. Dismal results for the 28 team, likely a contributing factor for all of that. But a huge little bit of news there that we do have some silly season movement going on. Dragon Motorsports keen on getting Maria Chavez. Issues that Maria Chavez is re-signed to Scuderia Ghia until the end of 2027. Are they going to work out a deal? Hard to tell. Chavez right now is in a promotion spot for the National Championship of the Challenger Series. Could end up in the World Series with a Scuderia Ghia. That's a very hard question to ask. A lot of negotiation will have to take place there. The relegation zone itself, like the top of the board, the bottom of the board is also tight. Esther Hofson and that 28-car team, 53 points adrift. Outside of that, it is within 20 points on both sides of the relegation line, above and below it. Siri Lundqvist, Shufan Zhang currently above the cut line. Astrid Crane, Marcus Petrovich, and Anastasius von Sonen below it. We'll see if any of that shifts here tonight. Before then, let's head trackside for those most famous words.
Drivers, start your engines.
26 cars will come to life here around the half-mile Arasaka Arena. It is the Bull Ring on the West Coast. The City of Dreams has been a city of nightmares for some, and it has lived up to its name for others. Andrew Draco comes to mind immediately for them. Some drivers hoping for a little bit more of that chaos that we've seen be so traditional here in Night City. See the dome, the roof closed up for this race tonight, shielding us away from the rain. Draco, Porter-Kelly at the front, Lechty, Lundqvist row 2. Championship battles across the board in the points. The Arasaka 225 is underway. We're racing in the City of Dreams. And immediately the inside lane springboards to life. Draco leads Lechty, Porter up to third. Porter-Kelly down to fourth. Battling with Leon. But here come the rapid lap times. .13-second lap. It'll get faster from there. Here comes Leon around Porter-Kelly. Meanwhile, Lechty's quickly taking the lead away from Draco. Here comes the points leader, Porter. Draco a little far away from the points lead, but never say never. He's 148 points away from Porter right now, and Porter would open that gap up above 150. 3 full race distances in the point standings between former teammates. Lechty 87 points shy of Porter at the moment. A race win would help that a little bit. Talk about the win streak for Porter. Standing back all the way to 2016 Lausitz Ring. To the point goes the race leader. And just like that, we've had 3 different race leaders so far to kick off this race in less than 10 laps, with Leon and Porter-Kelly in close pursuit. Rapid lap times, 12.7 second laps, running faster than 4 laps a minute here in Night City. High banks here in Arasaka Arena. A very crisp 30 degrees of banking. For comparison, Daytona National Speedway, the high banks at Daytona, 31 degrees of banking. Big difference. Daytona National Speedway is 2.5 miles. This is an entire 2 miles shorter per lap. Porter still leads over Draco as Lechty gets passed by Leon. Here's Leon being passed by Lechty. Porter-Kelly looking to attack as well. Alicia Kovalkiewicz sitting in 6th. Then it is Catherine Hart in 7th. So both Phantom Motor cars coming to play in the early going in Night City. Matej Velicevic, the Monaco race winner, just a couple of weeks ago, currently sitting 8th right now over BK Glover, who's 3rd in points right now going into today's event. 43 points adrift of Porter. Needs to continue to pile on the pressure on both Porter and Wyatt Jones, who has dropped back significantly here. Cyril Lundqvist in the 10th spot. It is Leroux side by side with Jackson. Sakura Ishibashi in 13th place ahead of Julia Takani. Michelin battling it out with Kobayashi for 16th place. Excuse me, that's for 15th, which Michelin now has. Valdez in 17th. Shifen Zhang up to 18th. Wyatt Jones, he has dropped all the way back to 23rd. He's behind Asper Crane. So this is a really bad turn of events here. He was able to play damage mitigation in Monaco a week ago. It was not really a great race for either Porter or Jones in the Principality. Right now, it's starting off a lot better for Porter than I think a lot of the championship contenders would have been hoping for. Draco in 2nd, Porter-Kelly in 3rd, having gotten around Hazel Leon. Lechty, after pushing early, beginning to drop back, losing 5th out to Catherine Hart. Something very interesting, though, about this race so far. Obviously, we were on the alternate compound tire when we were here last year. On the primaries this year, and there's two distinct lanes that are both viable either for passing or for defending, the outside lane and the inside lane, or what we would consider to be the middle lane. Both of them extremely viable as the sisters duke it out here for the first time in Night City. Portichelli has not led here in Night City. That is about to change. To the point, the three-time champion. Completing lap 23 on now lap 24. We now have had 4 different lap leaders. Hazel Leon in the mix as well. Two very similar looking cars. Leon with the black side pods. Porter in the red side pods. That's how you to really tell the difference there between the two. There it is, Leon. Filling in still for the injured Kinoshita. Leon's had a lot of bad luck here this year. Reliability has been a big factor for the Cat Devil Racing camp across the board since Kinoshita's injury at Homestead. Leon looking for second place across the line, didn't get it there, but has the advantage in turns 1 and 2. Still rapid lap times. Primary tires mean that we're going to get a very longevity-based race. Only a couple pit stops out of a 450 lap race is impressive. These cars keeping it in 6th gear will save them some fuel, especially in traffic. As Leon looks to the inside of Andrew Draco. Draco defends, covers off. The 32. Can only do it for so long. Here comes Leon. Coming around, will take the race lead by a hair. But it is now the Kiwi at the front. Leon leads. Draco and Porter battle behind for 2nd and 3rd. And just like that, we are now on lap 33, coming to complete lap 33 now. And these lap times will fly by quickly here in Night City. Even the Cup machinery, when they tested here a couple years ago, the Cup cars were running less than 16-second lap times. They were running faster here than they were at Bristol. And again, a lot of that comes down to the banking. 30 degrees here in Night City. A little bit more banking than what you see at Bristol. Portichelli trying to get back to the point of the field. 5 drivers have now led this race. Lecty led 3 laps. Portichelli led 2. Most laps led so far in this very short event so far would be Porter with 14 laps led. Draco down to 5th, gotten passed by his teammate Captain Hart. As Portichelli glances to the inside, trying to find a way around. Leon, pair of former champions. At the front of the field. Also further back here, almost looked like a little bit of a battle there between Lecty and Lundqvist. Lundqvist getting a little loose there out of turn 2. Will force a little bit of a reset. And there has been contact between those two. You see the side pod damage on Lecty's car, that 78 car. That is a car that has had a little bit of contact. Lecty getting around Captain Hart here. As Glover applies pressure to Lundqvist. Lundqvist currently in that top 10 battling at the moment. A lot of drivers in the Challenger Series rooting for the 97. And if the 97 stays above the cut line for the relegation zone, it means that Rachel Koivuniemen in that 61 car for Arrowhead Racing in the Challenger Series would not be a factor in the relegation fight. So a lot of drivers in the Challenger Series looking at Lundqvist's success and hoping that it stays consistent. Lundqvist, a podium finisher in Monaco 2 weeks ago, helping that cause significantly as she battles right now with Glover. Third place in points. And here comes Vlisovic. Vlisovic in 11th in points, a little over 2 races shy of her teammate. Has not had the season to remember, but 2 race wins, including at Monaco, will soften the impact of what has been a subpar season for the sophomore season driver for Atomic Autosport. Porter-Kelly back out in front, Draco in 3rd behind Leon and ahead of Evangeline Porter, who sits in 4th. First 18 races of the season, Porter's finished outside the top 10 only twice. It's been a season of absolute consistency. Obviously, Wyatt Jones, 2-time race winner, won Indianapolis, won the Indy 500, won in Valkenburg as well a few weeks ago, but has not had the consistency to match the 81 crew. Wyatt Jones is charging back forward. He's up to 17th. He was down in 23rd. So beginning to find his footing here. He was here as a rookie last year. A lot changes in about a year, and this is no different. Side by side, it's Von Sonen and Kovalkiewicz. Von Sonen finding some strength there around the half-mile track as well. Alexander struggling, sitting in 19th place at the moment, as is Artyom Kozlov in 22nd, struggling at the moment. Both of the struggling Verizon Team Impulse cars really trying to put something together here. Thomas Rogers down in 23rd position. Crane in 24th. Petrovic and Hofson on a little bit of an island by themselves, 25th and 26th. Completing lap 55 of 450. It is still Steffi Porter-Kelly out in front. The top 4 have all led almost an equal share of laps in this race. 14, 12, 14, 11. Lefty with 3 laps, the smallest amount of laps led so far. Still early days. Lundqvist up to 5th. Around with Vlisovic. There's Lechty also in the top 10 still. Glover battling with now Simona Leroux. Another driver we know will be a free agent at the end of the season. Trying to put together as strong a resume as possible to go alongside that Red Bull sponsorship. You also see moving forward in the top 10 now is the 95 at Takani. Takani's not been the safest driver this season, but sits more than a race above the relegation zone. Not really in danger of that 95 car just yet. A good result like a top 10 here could really help the situation a little bit before we head to Watkins Glen in 2 weeks. Right now, Takani battling with Captain Hart, who has dropped from the top 5 down to 11. And they will battle for 10th place once more here, with Takani getting the advantage that lap. 1 and 2, though, a lot more favorable on the bottom of the racetrack, and you're going to see that. And now Takani's in trouble because there's Michelin and Cameron Jackson to also try to get through. Porter-Kelly beginning to walk away with some of the laps led here, up to 23 laps led for the 3-time champion. It is former world champions 1, 2, and 3. 65 laps in to the Arasaka 225. Draco looks to the inside of Leon. A lot of battles between these 3 in particular over the last several years. Come around turn number 3. Draco wants a chance to get back to the race lead here. This is his home race. For all intents and purposes, this is his home race. 2 hours from San Francisco. That's about as close as it gets. Draco gets back out in front, and Leon quick to try to pounce. Sorry, that's not Leon, that's Porter. Porter in that red Coca-Cola machine. Leon down in fourth in the black side pods, as we mentioned earlier. Two very similar looking cars. Two very different teams. Whoa, Wyatt Jones in trouble. He is not going to be able to get back to pit lane. That is caution out. That is caution out. And the field will go ahead and come down pit lane here. But Wyatt Jones in huge trouble. Everyone coming down pit lane here. But trouble for Wyatt Jones, who came to a stop. Huge trouble for Wyatt Jones. Pace car rolling around here. Cars trying to leave the pit lane and get ready to go. Wow, this is not great. A lot of cars did not beat the pace car out. Looks like a lot of those in the back running. Wyatt Jones back out on track, but he is laps down now. A lot of cars did not beat the pace car out of pit lane. Oh, looks like they are letting the field catch up here. Give us a second. We're trying to organize where all this is at. Looks like lights are out in the lights are still on the pace truck here. Oh, they're letting Wyatt Jones get through. So Wyatt Jones got one of his 3 laps back there. He was 3 laps down, now 2 laps down. But those that did not beat the pace car are still behind the pace car. So this will make things very interesting here. 13 cars on the lead, well, technically 25 on the lead lap, but 13 safely on the lead lap at this point. Alicia Kovalkiewicz in 14th will lead the field to green, having been pinned behind the pace car on that pit stop. So now the race leaders will have to deal with a lot of traffic. As Andrew Draco at the front, ahead of Porter, ahead of Porter Kelly, ahead of Leon. There's a car that came down pit lane. I'm trying to figure out who that was that came down pit lane. That was Sakura Ishibashi down pit lane. Green flag flies. Away we go. Now the race leaders have to deal with lap traffic. Now we'll see who's got what to deal with the traffic and the pressure here. Nancy Porter getting to the point of the field here. Really high up the racetrack there was Leon in the 32. Struggling a lot now that there's a lot of traffic, a lot of dirty air out in front. Here comes Glover to the point, trying to chase down Porter Kelly, who leads the way. Porter Kelly leads Glover, leads Lundqvist at the moment. Alexander now a lap down. We'll try to play rear gunner and help out Porter Kelly just a little bit. Ishibashi ended up coming down pit lane, now 2 laps down, as did Natalia Velisevich, who is out of this race due to a brake issue. So Velisevich, the Monaco Grand Prix winner, out of this race early before we get to lap 100. And that is our first retirement of the race officially. A lot of cars going a lap down here to Porter Kelly. And now in the way of Glover and Lundqvist as they try to chase down this 47-time race winner. Porter Kelly has her eyes set on putting Wyatt Jones another lap down. Jones already 2 laps down. Trying to stay ahead and avoid losing a 3rd lap. Still a very long race here in Night City. The Arasaka 225. Porter Kelly does have the fastest lap of the race so far, a 12.661. For comparison, that is on an average lap speed of 151.467 miles an hour. Alexander in the 19th spot. It is now Lundqvist in 2nd, having gotten around Glover. Draco in 3rd, ahead of Porter, ahead of Glover here. Glover down to 5th. Leon in 6th. Captain Hart, Marcus Petrovic not in the mix. It's Takani and Lechty that are rounding up the top 10 as things stand. This is about at the front of the group that Porter Kelly's trying to reach and put a lap down here. Jones has gotten around Kozlov. Will get around Shufenjang as well. Jones and Kovalkiewicz battling right now, not for position. Again, Wyatt Jones in 25th. His only competition at the moment is Ishibashi. But Wyatt Jones just trying to outpace Porter Kelly. That is the main goal right now. Porter Kelly is right now the class of the field. Just at a new fastest lap. 12.635. That's a 51.7 mile an hour lap. So in traffic, Porter Kelly's getting faster. In the inside lane against Kovalkiewicz. That'll put the 96 car a lap down. Now Porter Kelly looking at the back of Von Sonen's car as Wyatt Jones gets around Mia Valdez. A couple cars slicing and dicing through this field as Lundqvist moves up to 2nd place. Once again, after getting around Andrew Draco here. Draco in 3rd, Porter in 4th. Hazel Leon a little bit more distant in 5th. Glover 6th, and it's Catherine Hart, Nicole Lecty, Simona Leroux, Matthias Michelin, Juliette Takani, and then you have to go all the way back around to Thomas Rogers in 12th. On the verge of going a lap down. That's how good Porticelli's car is right now. Wyatt Jones got clear of Thomas Rogers, and now Porticelli will try to do the same after getting around Cameron Jackson, who's just up ahead. "107 laps in to this race. Where it gets a little more difficult. Thomas Rogers got back around Wyatt Jones. They're still duking it out. Porticelli not taking too many risks here at this point, safely in the race lead as things stand. Goes Cameron Jackson on Wyatt Jones here. Go from high above. As Porticelli finds a way around Wyatt Jones here. Phenomenal look here as all the cars pass by the start finish line and pit exit. Porticelli leads right now for Andrew Draco and Evangeline Porter. As they all cycle around here. It's the Arasaka 225. We'll step away for our first commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We got more racing coming up. Welcome back, everyone, to the Arasaka 225. We're looking from high above the press box here in Arasaka Arena, here in Night City, California. 136 laps completed now, and it is Stephanie Porticelli at the front of the field, doing a fantastic job right now. Gotten clear of all the lap traffic, got clear of Wyatt Jones. However, you saw Evangeline Porter not far away. Sisters about to be battling it out at the front of the field once again. Andrew Draco sitting in the 3rd spot as things sit right now. Over Hazel Leon. And to go all the way back around to BK Glover in 5th place, still struggling to get around Shufan Zhang and Alicia Kovalkiewicz. Lundqvist in the 7th spot as things sit right now. Simona Leroux in 8th, Catherine Hart in 9th, Juliette Takani in the 10th spot, and a little further back, that's the last car on the lead lap. Thomas Rogers in 11th, the first car a lap down. Then Mia Valdez in 12th. 10 cars on the lead lap, that is it right now. And Porter, this is what you want to see. Wyatt Jones ahead of you, 3 laps down. After Wyatt Jones had that technical issue earlier in the race that caused so far the only caution of the race. Two cars have fallen out of this race. You'll notice you see skid marks on the pit entry line. 2 cars having an accident. while we were away for commercial break, but they were in pit lane, so a caution was not thrown. It was for Kage Kobayashi and Matthias Michelin, both those cars out of this race. But both drivers climbing from their cars unassisted, which is a big relief. Porter was trying to find a way around Wyatt Jones. Jones going to be a little more defensive with Porter, trying to force Porter into some sort of a mistake. Car out of this race. Nicole Lechty is now out with an engine failure for the 78 car. So Lechty's ambitions of trying to put up a surge to battle to defend her championship crown takes another hit. 9th in points going in. Will not be top 10 in points with how things are looking when this race is said and done. Lechty led 3 laps of this race. The 78 cars just seem to not really have the longevity, the power to keep with it, and that would be an explanation of why, if they knew that the engine was ailing, trying to nurse it home and try to scalp some points out of it. Well, Lechty was in the top 10. However, now Lechty will be classified 23rd in this race. Wyatt Jones applying more pressure to Porticelli, who is now past the century mark in laps led. Over 100 for Porticelli so far. She needs to outscore her sister by about 12 points a race to have a chance at the championship, including tonight. And right now she's got it. Holding on to a lap led and most laps led. That's 13 extra points. The difference between first and second normally is 10 points, 50 to 40. Both of them have led a lap. Porticelli gets the bonus points for leading the most. However, this is what you do not need if you're Porticelli or anyone else, and that is Evangeline Porter trying to go for the lead again. Do 1 and 2 a lot stronger for the inside lane there, and Porter will get clear and will get back to the front. Getting back to the point here, battle for first, second, and third. This is your entire podium as it sits right now, duking it out behind Wyatt Jones. With 9 cars now on the lead lap. Mia Valdez in 10th, the first car a lap down. 4 retirements, 1 for a brake failure, 2 for an accident, 1 for an engine failure. Lechty, Michelin, Kobayashi, and Velicevic. 22 still running. Wyatt Jones, the last of those cars running. Only 2 cars a lap down, or only 2 cars 2 laps down, and that's Jones and Ishibashi. From 10th all the way to 20th place, all a single lap down. As Wyatt Jones will find himself going a 3rd lap down to Porticelli and now to Draco. Draco chasing down Porter Kelly, trying to get back to the lead. Porter Kelly's led now over 110 laps. Draco's led only 21. Porter led 20. Hazel Leon in fourth right now has led 12. So right now, very clearly, there are the haves and have-nots here in Night City. As Esther Hobson about to go a second lap down, which is music to Ishibashi and Wyatt Jones' ears. A chance to gain more positions as this race goes along. Draco returns to the race lead here. And looking at 12.8 second lap times right now for the race leaders. In comparison, Esther Hobson running at 13.0. Getting back around Porter Kelly there for the race lead. These three swapping the positions back and forth. Hazel Leon closing in as those top three battle. There's Leon in fourth. And the battle for fifth place a little further back between Lundqvist, Glover, and LaRoe is how things sit right now. And they're even more distant from Takani and Captain Hart. Side-by-side battling here. Porter trying to hold on to the race lead. Porter Kelly trying to deny. Porter holds on that time, but 1 and 2. Once again, a little more friendly to the inside lane, although you can see the tire wear beginning to have its toll. Not nearly the jump ahead that it was before. Porter Kelly, though, will have a chance to lead. No. Porter again the outside lane, just now building the momentum to make this work. This is the crossover point where the outside lane and the inside lane evenly matched. The outside lane will now become preferred over the next 15-20 laps. Comes Leon. Leon in the 32. Up to third. You have to imagine the tire saving is a pretty big factor right now, and Leon has been able to do that pretty successfully. Leon's going to apply a lot of pressure here to Porter Kelly and Porter. Once again, using that outside, Evangeline Porter on the inside, on the outside lane. Porter Kelly on the inside, It's a confusing mess, all right? But Porter on the outside lane, using the outside pretty well to defend against Porter Kelly. Leon having the ability to sort of lane choose here, trying to figure out what lane's going to be more successful. The inside lane worked for Leon to get around Draco, but now you've got two cars blocking both the lanes that you would be using here, which does make this a lot more complicated because Porter Kelly has an outstanding car, but has been full push since the restart. We're now approaching lap 200 here in Night City. This concrete surface will do a lot to those Firestone tires. They are durable, but they will wear a lot, especially on that right side. And the more the Porter Kelly's stuck on the inside lane, the worse it's going to get. And you're beginning to see that. You're leaning more on the inside lane. You're leaning more on those inside tires, on that right side tire anyway, than you are on the outside lane. And you're beginning to see the effects of that. Porter Kelly beginning to use up those tires a lot, trying to get to the lead of the race, and now will lose second. Porter Kelly now with a chance to get clear, but still trying to attack here. Just not a winning fight right now. What this will do, though, is that this will allow the 81 ahead to pull away a little bit. We have crossed lap 200 here. And you're seeing a little further behind that is a three-wide situation. That was Leroux shooting the gap to get ahead of Glover and Lundqvist. And that was to get up to top 5. That's where Leroux is right now. So Leroux not taking no for an answer here. A lot of chaos. Porter in the free air at the moment, living in it right now. Lap traffic nowhere immediate. Still a decent amount of time before you get to Petrovic and Ishibashi here. With how the pace is settling down a little bit, it may be another round of pit stops coming up before we get to that set of lap traffic. These two side by side, running 0.3 slower side by side than the race leader. Here comes Leon once again, the 32 car in fourth. Wow, Porter Kelly actually got around Draco there. Very interesting how that worked out. Porter Kelly did prevail in holding on to that second spot. And now here comes Leon. Leon and Draco battling for third now. Leon wastes very little time getting up to third. Took a couple laps and that was it. Simon Leroux in fifth, breaking away from Glover and Lundqvist. Now the pressure is going to be on Porter Kelly to stay ahead of Leon. Leon trying to close in on Porter here. Leon the fastest of the top 5. Keep an eye on this battle. Further back, and you go dealing with Wyatt Jones, who's 3 laps down. Again, an electrical issue forcing Wyatt Jones to come to a stop and causing our first caution of the race. So far, our only caution of the race. Put him laps down immediately. Three laps down. Esther Ofsen and Sakura Ishibashi both 2 laps down. See, Leon has gotten around Porticelli for the second spot. Now trying to chase down the race leader. Cars in the pit lane. Pit stops, I believe, have begun for the first time under green flag conditions. That is Sakura Ishibashi down pit lane, who came down pit lane on the restart initially at first. You see a good look at Sakura Ishibashi as she returns to the racing surface. Gets through there cleanly. Ishibashi now 5 laps down. In 22nd position, but everyone's got pit stops coming here. We are completing lap 221. As you look at this battle for second place, Leon and Porticelli have walked away from Draco and, more importantly, now 4th place, Simona Leroux. Battle for 6 between Glover and Lundqvist right now, as things sit. And how about a round of applause right now so far for Von Sonen? The 76 car there, that Castrol machine, just behind, up in 12th place. A very needed result for the 76 team that right now sits 21 points behind the cut line. Xufeng Zhang in 15th will minimize the amount that is gained here by the 76 in that relegation fight. But right now, Von Sonen will gain on Xufeng Zhang, on Asher Crane at 17th, on Marcus Petrovich right now in the 19th position. And right now Cameron Jackson, who is in 20th in points going into the day. Cameron Jackson a little bit safer, 45 points clear of the relegation zone. And ahead of Xufeng Zhang for that matter, so that gap's going to grow by a point or so. But Von Sonen, bits and pieces, little by little, chipping away. We'll be able to gain about 4 or 5 points and see how everything fluctuates in and out here. Momentum that you can build on over the rest of the season here. 5 races after tonight. Glover getting a handful of Von Sonen. Further forward, Leroux, clear of Draco, clear of Wyatt Jones. The battle for second rages on between Leon and Porticelli. As I mentioned before, 5 races to go after today. Watkins Glen, Chicagoland, Atlanta, the Indianapolis Road Course, and then Fontana. So time is ticking. Porticelli still pretty far and away right now at the front. Well, about to encounter some lap traffic here. That's Petrovich in 19th, about to go 2 laps down. Along with Ishibashi, now 5 laps down after making that pit stop. Trying to find a way around. That's Esther Hofson, who's 2 laps down. About to go 3 laps down here. Huge gaggle of cars in this group, though. And Porter not looking forward to dealing with it. Completing lap 241 of 450. We've crossed over the halfway point here in Night City. Cross over that at lap 225. And here comes the race leader now on the lap traffic. That'll eat away at the 3-second lead that Porter had. Hobson will go 3 laps down. Petrovic about to go 2 down. Really struggling right now behind Kovalkiewicz. Trying to work on Petrovic, Kovalkiewicz, and Kozlov here. Finally gets clear of Petrovic. Moves out from behind Kovalkiewicz. This is where you need a car that's good at both. And Porter Kelly looked at the middle. Looked into the middle of the racetrack to try to find a way around the 3 and the 96. That is a driver that knows the time is of the essence. Porter got clear, and there's Leon. Leon, Leroux, and Porter Kelly now also in with the same group. Porter got clear of it all. Kovalkiewicz walked away from it all too. Trying to stay ahead and stay just 1 lap down at this point as things stand. Kovalkiewicz in the 16th spot. Ishibashi in those fresher tires, beginning to make use of them. Crossed 250 laps off in this race, less than 200 laps to go. Losing a little bit of touch here with this group. Struggle to get around Esther Hofson there. Really lost touch with the podium positions that are all in this massive conglomeration of cars. Porter's still struggling to get through some of the lap traffic, dealing with Takani and Ishibashi while also dealing with Artem Kozlov here. And Porter comes down pit lane, and that's because caution is out. Caution came out for another time tonight. Very interesting to see how this all plays out. Lap traffic will come down here separately. Try to figure out what happened here. It would have been with Mia Valdez. Oh no, it's Andrew Draco. Oh, that's a bad accident with Andrew Draco. What has happened to the 13 that was in the top 10? Oh no. Draco focusing on the mirrors and not on what was ahead of him. Hit the attenuator, and the caution comes out. Catherine Hart's not going to beat the pace car out here. Not even close. Neither will Takani. So they're going to be in trouble here. Pace car rolling around here. Mia Valdez will lead the field to green. 4 laps down here. Anthony Porter, the race leader, though, not far away from the front of the line. Julia Hart, it'll be Julia Takani and Catherine Hart that are battling for a chance to stay on the lead lap. And here comes Takani. And Leroux. Leroux looking to the inside of Takani, who tried to cover it off for a moment. It didn't work out. And Leroux, for the first time today, a lap leader in Night City. Will quickly lose the lead right back to Porter. But Leroux in the game and in the fight. So is Siri Lundqvist there in 4th. BK Glover in 5th, also having a chance at coming back here and dealing with this group. Porter Kelly in 6th. The 2 Porter sisters have combined for about 240 laps led. Porter leading 113. Porter Kelly with 120 exact. LaRoe dropping down to third. Now dealing with Porter-Kelly in the fourth spot. Connie in seventh, a lap down here. Porter still leads over Leon and has now crossed 125 laps led. Dealing with Leon here. Porter-Kelly up to third, getting back to this conversation at the front of the field. Got ahead of LaRoe, who's in fourth. Glover in fifth. Cyril Lundqvist right now, the last car on the lead lap, in sixth. But in this group. And here comes Leon to the front of the field once more. Having only led 12 laps so far. This will make things a lot easier. Porter-Kelly gets back out front there. You watch that pass take place with 150 laps to go. Four cars still very much under a blanket. Takani not able to hold off LaRoe. LaRoe now in the top four here, and in this group, 5 cars out with Draco, Lecty, Michelin, Kobayashi, and Belisovic at the bottom of the order. Wyatt Jones up to 18th, doing what he can to crawl back some positions here. He's got ahead of Hoffson, Valdez, and Ishibashi, but still separated by a lap from Kovalkiewicz, Kozlov, and Petrovic. Kelly defending from her younger sister there. Against results like these that have helped Evangeline Porter stay in the championship conversation as long as she has been. Now getting back up the front, a race win, no longer necessarily a requirement here. With you look where Wyatt Jones is at right now in the 18th position. Glover's in 5th, but you've already got a 43-point gap on Glover right now, and you're extending it to over a race here. Valdez down in 20th, and Alexander not able to make much headway, still in 13th position. Artyom Kozlov, who is 6th in points, 57 points adrift, right now in 16th. These are the races that Evangeline Porter really capitalizes on, even if a race win isn't on the cards. Right now, this is Porter's best chance to get to a race win, if that's the case, but you got to get through 3 cars right now to do so. Got to get through your older sister, Porter Kelly, who's won 47 times in her career in the Champ Car World Series, as well as Simona Leroux and Hazel Leon. Porter will get back to the front of the field here. In a race that has seen several lap leaders here, with Draco, Letty out, Leon and Leroux both have led laps. It has been the two sisters that have led the most here in Night City tonight. These are Porter Kelly's first laps leading in Night City. Did not lead in Night City last year. Has now led 131 laps within Arasaka Arena. That's not familiar, a lot of Dodge sponsorship around this racetrack. Dodge joining the series next year. With Arrowhead Racing as its flagship team. Side by side, here comes Leroux. Not Leroux, this is Leon and Porter Kelly. Leroux in fourth, just behind. With Dodge coming into the series for the first time, after already having a deal working with the Night City Corsairs that play in the NFL here in Arasaka Arena. A lot of sponsorship here for Dodge in Night City. Leon has gotten around Porter as Leroux gets around Porter Kelly. They'll trade the lead back and forth here, the two red, black, and white machines, as Porter gets back to the front. A little bit further back in the order, last car, a singular lap down, is Cameron Jackson, who I think we just passed here. There he is in 14th. On the verge of going 2 laps down with how things are looking so far. Shufan Zhang in 13th, also a lap down, needed this result as well. However, it's not going to be so helpful for Marcus Petrovich, who is 16th, 2 laps down, and sort of just pinned in this position at the moment. I want to take the time to shout out right now 2 cars that are in the relegation fight that are going to gain some pretty significant points. Asher Crane in 10th, and Estadius Von Sonnen in 9th. Right now, both of those cars looking outstanding in the top 10 as well. And there's a chance for them to gain more. There's Captain Hart in the 8th spot at the moment, just up the road. Siri Lundqvist in 6th on the lead lap, last car on the lead lap. There is Juliet Takani, the first car a lap down. Von Sonnen and Crane could get as high as 7th with how things are looking right now, and we still have a green flag pit stop cycle left to do. Von Sonnen right now continues to chip away at Captain Hart for that 8th spot. Top 4 still in this blanket fight. Porter down to 3rd. It's Porter Kelly and Leon right now leading the way. And then Leroux in 4th. Lundqvist and Glover round out those on the lead lap. Right now, the most laps led bonus points are in the hands of the driver's center of your screen, the points leader. has led now 22 laps in this race. As Kelly tries to get back to the front of the field as well. They're coming up on lap traffic. That is Esther Hassan in the 19th spot, about to go 4 laps down. Sisters battling for the lead once again. And it will be Evangeline that takes over the race lead here into turn 3. This lead battle just continues to rage on here. Takani staying in 7th and staying ahead of this battle to be in the top 5 between Glover and Lundqvist. And this will bail Lundqvist even more out of that relegation fight. That 97 car is 16 points ahead of relegation at this point, would extend that significantly. Cameron Jackson in 14th would be a lot closer to this fight zone with how things are looking so far. Again, Lundqvist trying to get the 97 car clear and into safety. Realistically, for Rachel Coy aiming to take over in 2025. Teammates there, Takani. Not going to put too much of a fight, I think, on Lundqvist here. And indeed, less than a lap, and Lundqvist's on her way. Takani right now in the 7th spot, so Takani still looking good as well in the 95 machine to hold on to those positions as they sit right now. It'd be Kovalkiewicz that would be the odd one out, with Arrowhead sitting 16th right now, 2 laps down, so he just pinned. So Lundqvist in the top 5 and beginning to pull away from Glover, dealing right now with Wyatt Jones. You can see Glover still in trouble here, dealing now with Von Sonnen and Crane, who have really turned on the Jets here. They're having a really good race right now in Night City. And you throw in a little bit of chaos, stars begin to shine in different ways. And that is what we're seeing right now. Hazel Leon looking for a race win to help that 32 car for Cat Devil Racing. So Leon now in 2nd place. We'll have to try to do it again. You're going to see this a lot through the last 100 laps of this race. Between the 96 laps to go. And it is this group of 4 that are just the class of the field right now. Porter Kelly, Leon, Porter, and LaRoe. There's Leon to the inside once again. As the racing continues to take point here. Leon right now in a really good spot to at least have a chance to snag a podium out of this whole conversation. Porter Kelly, Porter, LaRoe. Someone's going to be missing out on the podium, but all of them getting really good points hauls. The issue for Porter Kelly is that to be in the championship conversation, you kind of have to have more than just 5 points on that 81 car right now, and so far that's not the case. A win, and Porter being third, makes the next 5 races of the season way easier for Porter Kelly to try to beat in that championship conversation. Still 90 laps to do that too. So definitely far away from being done. Leon continues to lead here. LaRose only led 2 laps in this race so far. Leon's now led over 30. Evangeline's led 156, and 142 have gone to Stephanie. As Porter Kelly gets around LaRoe once again, Wyatt Jones got around Esther Hobson. And Lundqvist now stuck mired still in traffic, but still in 5th place because Glover's in the same boat. It is the never-ending fight in this field so far as things sit. And just going from up above here, the constant cars flying around here in Night City. This is from the start-finish line once again. And the 60,000 that have stacked into the Arasaka Arena, getting a constant entertainment of cars flying around. The fastest half mile on the Champ Car calendar. Realistically, this is the fastest half mile in North America. And just watch these cars just fly on by. And as you can see, those at the front of the field beginning to deal with potential lap traffic. This is the group that is not far away from Porter Kelly, Leon, and LaRoe. With 80 laps to go. Kelly back out front. Yeah, Evangeline trying to break a winless streak that goes all the way back to Lausa Ring 2016. Has not won in Champ Car since, has not won in the NAMRA Cup Series since. Trying to get that to change. Has led the championship with consistency. 16 of 18 races she has finished in the top 10. 0 DNFs reporter, the 81 car this season. None. And things are looking pretty good for the 81 car to continue that trend. Kelly gets around Porter for second place, moves Porter to third. And pit stop's not too far away here. This race is going to fly by quickly here. We've got 2 cautions for 12 laps. That has been it. 1 caution for Wyatt Jones coming to a stop on the racetrack. He ultimately continued this race and is in the 18th spot. The 2nd for Andrew Draco, who is out of this race. The only accident-related retirement that caused a caution. We have Mateus Michelin and Kage Kobayashi, who crashed in pit lane. ending their race. You see the skid marks from them. But that did not draw a caution because they were off the racing surface. Porter back out front, but here comes lap traffic. That'll change the order once again. Cameron Jackson trying to avoid going 2 laps down. Same with Shufeng Zhang. Both of them are in this conversation right now. Cars all over the place. Here comes Leon. 3 wide for second. Porter gets clear of it. But Jackson now 2 laps down. Shufeng Zhang trying to avoid the same fate. Porter Kelly down to 4th. Here comes Porter on Leon. Zhang in 13th, just trying to stay a lap down here. That's going to be really difficult there. Got checked up by Ishibashi. And now here come the race leaders on the outside lane. Young going to try to take the lead back, use the opportunity. Not there that time. Further forward here, not for position. That's Alexander in 12th, also a lap down. That is Marcus Petrovic in the 21, 2 laps down in 17th. Trying to chase down Alicia Kovalkiewicz, who is also 2 laps down at this point in time. Artyom Kozlov, another car that's 2 laps down right now as things sit. Thomas Rogers, 1 lap down in 11th. Esther Hofson is 4 laps down right now in 20th place. There's Catherine Arts 1 lap down in 10th. Jack Glover dealing with the 9th place car of Anastasia Svansonen. Asher Crane up to 8th. Closing in on Takani. Meanwhile, Esther Hofson not Esther Hofson, Siri Lundqvist top 5. Porter got really checked up by Shufeng Zhang, who has allowed Hazel Leon and Steffi Porter Kelly to go right on through. So Porter's trying to get around the Taiwanese driver. Up to 3rd, Porter down to 4th. As things sit right now, it's quickly becoming a 2-horse fight. At the end of this race, less than 50 laps to go between Porter Kelly and Leon. Leon leads, Porter Kelly in pursuit. Leon staying ahead of Porticali at the moment. A good defense from Leon, who has now led over 50 laps. Eva's still led 176 laps in fourth position right now. Right now still holds on to the most laps led bonus points here. Every point counts when you've entered a championship conversation. That entering this race was 5 points apart. Every point matters right now. Wyatt Jones unable to really make any much headway beyond 18th place as things sit right now. So that would be a huge boost for Evangeline, especially if she can get back to this group right now. She's gotten around Shufenjang. And this group's still struggling with the lap traffic coming up with Kovalkiewicz, Devonta racing car of Petrovic and Alexander. So allow LaRoe to also be in the conversation here. Kelly getting around Kovalkiewicz. As Leon tries to work on Porticali's teammate there, Alexander. Leon will get through. Porticali will try to do the same. See if the teamwork's going to work out here a little bit. Seems like Alexander's not really keen on letting Porticali just waltz on through here. Porticali will muscle her way around and get an opportunity to get clear here. So now it's on LaRoe and Porter to get their way through. And there they are now working on Petrovic, the 21 car. They're both going to get around Petrovic there. Petrovic now 3 laps down, as is Kovalkiewicz. Alexander 2 laps down. .31 laps to go. And it's become a 2-horse race right now. Again, pit stop's not far away. Unless they can make these tires last all the way through the remaining 30 laps of this race. Leon leads over Porticali, LaRoe in 3rd, Porter in 4th, the points leader. Set to gain a healthy amount with 5 races to go. Wyatt Jones, the 2-time race winner this season, the Indianapolis 500 champion this season, down in the 18th position. See, look for the back. They were 3 wide for a moment. Porter was trying to find a way to make things work to get back to 3rd. LaRoe and Alexander rebuffed it. Leon under threat. Porticali winning and Porter being in 4th would do a lot for Porticali as far as championship ambitions. Because that would be almost a 20-point swing. If Porticali could take the most laps led bonus points with that, which we're coming down to crunch time if we're going to do that. I believe it's actually too late now for Porticali to take the most laps led bonus points. It would be 20. Porticali is looking for the race lead, though, trying to find a way around Leon. Advantage for Porticali there at the line, but not clear. Now clear through 1 and 2. Coming to 21 laps to go. Leon's running out of time to respond. Porter working on Leroux, a little bit further behind. 81 in the 77, duking it out. And Porter will clear Leroux here. So both Porter sisters on the podium. First and third. Leon trying to play spoiler for championship ambitions right now, with less than 20 laps to go. Lap traffic not far away either, just up the road. That is Esterhofsen and Artyom Kozlov. Leon who tried really drive deep out of turn 2 there. It worked out. Kelly up in the high line here. We'll hold on to the race lead. Pretty evenly matched, these two cars right now. Kelly a lot stronger in 3 and 4 than Leon. Almost clears out of 4 every single time. Leon just really better entering the corners and through 1 and 2. These two side by side, they could be gridlocked for the rest of the race, and it's going to allow Porter to have a chance to close in on this. There's Alexander between Porter and the top 2. But if she has a chance to get around Alexander to make this a 3-car fight for the race win, that'd be exciting. We're closing down on that, and that's exactly what Porter's going to try to do. Use the inside lane to get clear of Alexander. And Alexander had no response for that at all. Porter's clear. 3 cars under a blanket, and Leroux's not far away in 4th. Top 4 is 2 Fords and 2 Chevrolets. Alexander trying to battle back and help out her teammate there, Porter Kelly, as Porter Kelly battles with Leon for the race lead. A little bit of gamesmanship right now, but you do what you can. Coming to 8 laps to go, and they are still side by side. This is what you want to see to end the race. Let them duke it all out. Porter Kelly leads, but Leon keeping Porter Kelly honest. Leroux's gotten back around Porter for 3rd. Same group here, all 4 under a blanket, as well as some of the lap traffic. Porter Kelly outside lane, Leon inside lane. Outside lane has prevailed so far in this battle. It prevails again at the line there. Can it keep going? Leon trying everything that she can right now to take this race win away from Porter Kelly. 5 to go. Leon, that was her best advantage into 3 and 4. Not enough there still. Still laps led for Porter Kelly. 4 to go. And Leon's in the mix. Alexander's made it difficult. If you're going to get around for 3rd, you've got to do it on the outside lane. You have to take the longer way around. It has worked out for Porter Kelly. It has not worked out for Leroux. 2 laps to go, a mile left in play here in the Arasaka 225. Leroux has been blocked. White flag, 1 lap to go. Here we go. This is for the marbles for Leon and Porter Kelly. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Does Leon have anything? Side by side at the line. Porter Kelly's got it. Wow! Porter Kelly had it. Porter Kelly with an outstanding race win. 0.05 of a second, 0.056 the difference between Porter Kelly and Hazel Leon. Stephanie Porter-Kelly with the race win over Leon, Leroux, and Porter, your top 4. Lundqvist in the top 5 over Glover. That was your top 6, all in lead lap. Results running top of your screen. Astrid Crane all the way up to 7th place. A fantastic job for Astrid Crane. Another fantastic result here ahead of Juliette Takani, who gets another top 10 result here. Catherine Hart in 9th. Thomas Rogers in 10th. Anastasius von Sonnen just barely missing out on the top 10 in 11th place, 1 lap down. Then you have a lot of the cars 2 laps down. We saw the front of the 2 laps down train. Elise Alexander and Shufan Zhang, 12th and 13th for them. Cameron Jackson in the 14th position ahead of Artyom Kozlov. Kozlov being the last car to be 2 laps down. And then you have Alicia Kovalkiewicz leading the 3 laps down train over Marcus Petrovich and Wyatt Jones, who can only get up to 18th position. Mia Valdez in 19th. Esther Hofson in 20th. Sakura Ishibashi in 21st, the last car running in this event. The retirements, very short and simple. Andrew Draco, Nicole Lechty, Matthias Michelin, Kage Kobayashi, and Natalia Velisevich, the 5 cars out of this race. Evangeline Porter got the most laps led bonus points by 3 laps. It was 173 to 176 in favor of Porter over Porter-Kelly at the end of the race there. Leon led 72 laps. Simona Leroux led 2 laps. Andrew Draco led 24, and Lechty led 3 laps to round out those that have led laps in the Arasaka 225. A lot to talk about there. The biggest key takeaway from this weekend is that both the championship leaders, Rachel Koivuniemen and Evangeline Porter, have now opened up a pretty wide gap, some of the widest gaps we've seen this season at the front of the championship conversation. Obviously, with Koivuniemen now leading by more than a race in the national championship. Evangeline Porter doing a really good job opening the gap up to almost 30 points here in the World Championship standings as well. We've got 5 races to go in both series. For the World Series, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. We head back to the East Coast for a race at Watkins Glen International. It's going to be a lot of fun racing in New York. We can't wait to see you there. The Champ Car Challenger Series, they'll be in the Midwest. They'll be racing a doubleheader at Kansas Speedway in 2 weeks' time. Same weekend as Watkins Glen. We hope to see you there at Kansas as well here on ABN. Stephanie Porter-Kelly, another race win. 20 points closer to the top of the championship. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time when we head to Kansas and New York. Until next time, for everyone here at ABN Studios, everyone here for the AT&T Champ Car World Series, Horizon Corporation, and everyone here from Arasaka Arena in Night City, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you next time out on track. So long, everybody.